Everything's coming to a head at Orangutan Jungle School. When usually inseparable Telecan and Jellipat spend the day apart, things take a surprising turn.
Beni.
Fed up with his diet, Benny takes matters into his own hands. As the clumsiest climber in forest school, Malika must make some vertical progress or risk being held back. And the stakes are high as 6 jungle school graduates are about to be set free. It's a historic day at the Borneo Orangutan Survival Foundation's Nyaru Menteng Jungle School. For 6 orangutans, it will be life-changing. The gang of pre-release orangutans removed from Bungamat Island 8 weeks ago is about to be released into the wild. Gentle 13-year-old Rebecca almost missed her chance at freedom when 2 air rifle pellets still lodged in her chest were mistaken for tuberculosis lesions. Beautiful 15-year-old Rowo received several minor cuts during the move, which have all healed up now. 15-year-old Stuart is a very good-natured adolescent male, skilled in the jungle and very smart. 11-year-old Bruni received an eye injury when her mother was killed. But that hasn't stopped her from claiming a place on the release. These 4 will be joined by 15-year-old Rawa and 20-year-old Sukumara, who came from different pre-release islands. All 6 of these orangutans aced forest school, thrived on the pre-release islands, and have now endured 2 months in quarantine to ensure they're ready for this next big step. Sadly, King Casper won't be joining them. A recent report from the release site revealed 2 wild, sexually mature cheek-padded males have already established home ranges in the area. To avoid immediate conflict, King Casper will have to wait for the next release in a different site, where he can more safely establish his own range. Transporting orangutans into remote Borneo is risky and expensive. But the Boss Foundation team is hugely experienced. While the Technisi staff prepare the travel cages, the veterinarians prepare sedatives to get the orangutans safely into the cages. Arga plays good cop, distracting the orangutans with silly noises. Greg's bad cop. Beautiful Rowo is first out. She was known for her meek personality on Bangamat Island, but this never affected her suitability for release. The big girl fits snugly into her travel cage. Hopefully, the other candidates are as easy to manage. In the forest, the Group 2 students head to class. Big Benny is doing his best to keep up at the back of the line. He makes it, but he looks a bit pooped. Everyone is up the trees straight away. So Benny follows. It seems like he's really trying today. Although judging his weight in the canopy needs work. At the water park, everyone wants to have fun. Including Benny. When the lunch bell rings and bananas are on offer, Benny comes in like a wrecking ball. But the babysitters are still under strict instructions not to let Benny have any bananas. Everyone gets a treat. Except Benny. Resorting to banana peel is pretty low. Lanting remembers his fruit kebab lessons. But it seems he's got the wrong end of the stick. Benny's desperate for fruit. He begs Penty. Borrows from the basket. And steals from Raren. Bad move. Poor Benny. But his babysitter hasn't forgotten him. She has a healthier choice, just for him. The problem is, it's bananas that Benny loves the most. So he requires constant surveillance, lest he get up to any more tricks. Over in nursery school, the 1 to 2-year-old biggies are enjoying playtime. Goofy Kalanis is experimenting with potential new foods. Telekan and Jelapat have always been a very close pair. Inseparable sometimes. It's usually Telekan on the left who's most clingy. But today, she's relaxed her hold on Jellipat. And so he explores on his own. Telican uses her alone time to practice climbing. This is a positive sign she's moving towards independence. But classmate Kalanis is eyeing up Telican. He moves in. About as close as he can get. Jellipat has a bird's eye view of how Telican responds to Kalanis' attention. She appears to be accepting a very long kiss. Jellipat climbs down into the action and plants himself firmly between the two of them. But if two's company, three is definitely a crowd. Luckily, babysitter Justianti decides it's time for a nest-building lesson. She recruits Jellipat to distract him. But he's not keen. Their lesson catches Mochi's interest. But Jellipat tells him to back off. Justianti gets both the boys set up with nesting material and leaves them to work unsupervised. Jellipat is really acting out. He evicts Mochi and claims the nest for himself. Time to knock this down and start again. Almost done. It just needs one last finishing touch. Who needs a girlfriend, anyway? At the quarantine facility, the transfer team hurries to load the last two orangutans. They need to get on the road. Rebecca is only lightly sedated because she's reacted badly to anesthetic in the past. Still semi-conscious, she allows the team to process her without resistance. She seems to know they don't mean her any harm. Finally, it's Sukumara's turn. She was rescued from a Thai circus when she was 9. Now, 20 years old, this day has been a long time coming. Bad cop Greg catches her unaware. But as they unload her onto the scales, It's clear the sedative hasn't yet taken full effect. She's a fully grown adult weighing around 43 kilograms. But the team takes a chance handling her without increasing her dose. And by the time she's made comfortable in her large-sized travel cage, the sedative has calmed her down. Sukumara will be one to keep an eye on. The orangutans aren't loaded onto the trucks until they've woken from their sedatives. It's important they're awake for the journey so they can stay hydrated and brace themselves against injury from constant jolting on the rough roads. It will take almost 24 hours to transport the orangutans to the forest reserve designated for their release. The first leg of this epic journey is a long drive. And if all goes well, these orangutans will never see Nyaru Menteng again. In Forest Group 1, 2-year-old Malika is still spending too much time on the ground. She's progressing well in termite foraging and tool use, but she avoids the trees. Malika was treated like a human baby by a village woman who cared for her for over a year. And as a consequence, she's hopeless at climbing. She's at risk of being held back if she doesn't learn to climb better. Today, she's getting some private tuition from babysitter Hendra. Nothing motivates a student more than food. But Hanin muscles in and helps herself to Malika's incentive. Malika will have to try harder. Hendra readies some turnips. That's more like it. Although ideally, Malika should stay in the tree and eat her snack above the ground. Late afternoon, and it's playtime on the lawn. It's Benny's last chance to sneak some bananas. Bad news, Benny. It's only jackfruit. He can work with that. Or maybe not. There's a storm brewing. Everyone races for shelter. The gazebo is packed to the rafters. Timper takes full advantage of the rainwater, and her friends quickly copy her. Staying dry is a luxury these orphans will lose when they graduate to the pre-release islands. Although orangutans improvise with whatever's at hand. And papaya leaves make a wonderful umbrella. 18-year-old Jasmine has been brought back from her pre-release island for medical treatment for an infection. And even though her new home has a roof, old habits die hard. Yoko experiments with a hat of his own. Once the rain passes, it's off to bed. Valentino still demands the special transportation he had when he was an infant. Even though today's playtime has been cut short, most students go happily. But Benny has other ideas. There might still be food out there. His Benny roll is the perfect evasive maneuver. And he even finds some leftover banana. He really doesn't want to go to bed tonight. Benny's strength overpowers 4 people. But his favourite babysitter, Jumiati, knows how to handle the little rascal. As night falls in the new baby house, most babies are soundly sleeping in their baskets. Weene has progressed to sleeping in a nest above the ground. This is an important step for her because all wild orangutans sleep up in the canopy. Soon, she might be brave enough to sleep even higher. Mima has also graduated to a hammock. But she likes to be rocked to sleep with her security blanket. Bumi and Jari are the baby house night owls, not ready to sleep just yet. These youngsters are making progress, and every step counts towards their wild future. As peace descends on the baby house, the orangutan graduate's journey to the release site still has a long way to go. The driving phase of the journey is more than 200 kilometers. As soon as the trucks leave the sealed road, progress slows right down. The team intentionally drives at night, as it's cooler for the precious cargo. Even so, every hour, they stop to check on the orangutans, as dehydration becomes more of a concern. Stuart laps up the water offered by vet Hardy, who also offers him some comfort. The convoy pushes on through the night. And as dawn breaks, they reach the village at the end of the road. The release crew debrief for the next phase of the journey. The pit stop allows some children to catch a glimpse of Borneo's future wild orangutan population. The next part of the journey is on the river. Each travel cage is loaded into the longboats. And each crate gets a pair of buoyancy floats, as the river journey can be dangerous. Eventually, the fleet is ready to embark on the final phase of the voyage, up the Ben River. They're heading to the safety of the Bukit Baka-Bukit Raya National Park, a protected conservation forest in the very heart of Borneo. It's 7 a.m. back at Nyaru Menteng. And for the 52 forest school orphans, every day must be a school day if they are ever to qualify for a wild release. There are no weekends at Jungle School, no Christmas holidays, and no summer break. But these students wouldn't have it any other way. They have way too much fun in class. Even just getting there is a blast. Whether it's in a conga line, a wheelbarrow bus, or hitching a lift. At the Group 1 classroom, babysitter Ursula settles in with her students for the day. Meryl keeps Ursula distracted, while Timper and Mumut decide the sun shelter is an excellent playground. This destructive duo is challenging Ursula today. And the classroom descends into chaos. As soon as she ties up one rope, they sabotage another. The first casualty is the brand new tarp. Away from the madness, the clumsiest climber in forest school watches her classmates' acrobatic skills. Something clicks. And the next thing, little Malika is climbing. Of her own accord, without prompts or bribes. It's as if she decided she can do this. This is an improvement for Malika, although she still seems to prefer skinny trees. The big question now is, can she choose a more suitable tree to climb? Not everyone's being so constructive today. Benny's ditched class again. He's still hungry. There's one place he'll be sure to find some bananas. The fruit storeroom. The students are not allowed to visit this part of the compound, but they know it's there. With no staff about, the temptation is too great. Bingo! Beni conquers Banana Mountain. There's so much forbidden fruit. Beni hardly knows where to begin. This could be dietary self-destruction. Beni starts making up for all those bananas he's missed. But he doesn't have long.
Benny. Benny.
Busted. Sri ends the fun before he can get too many bananas under his belt. It's back to forest school for this tubby truant. And there'll be no more cheating on the diet. Nearby, Denny Bear, an orphan Sunbear cub who arrived 2 weeks ago, is getting some exercise with vet Arga. This area of Niaru Menteng is set aside as a temporary sanctuary for rescued sun bears. And today, all eyes are on the new cub. Like the orangutans, these bears have been rescued by the Boss Foundation from poachers and deforestation. This little bear's future now lies with these other bears. And plans are afoot for a long-term sanctuary for these rainforest refugees. For now, Denny Bear still lives in the clinic and can't be traipsing dirt inside.
Wash your hair.
Time for a wash. Will he cooperate?
Balik klinik. Kakinya nanti.
Not a chance. Several hundred kilometers west in the heart of Borneo, the release team has been traveling upriver for 4 hours now. Few people live this deep in the jungle. But this forest is still earmarked as logging concession. Not a safe place to release orangutans. Rowo has managed to remove the wooden panel from his cage. Now he can take in the scenery. Bruni doesn't have a good view. But she has plenty of snacks to distract her. A sandbar marks the entrance to the Bukit Baka-Bukit Raya National Park, a safe haven for wildlife, and the new home for these jungle school graduates. Soon, the smooth-flowing river changes into rapids. To lighten the load, most of the field team must walk overland, leaving the skilled crew to navigate the treacherous waters. This is a formidable challenge. Even with Dayak boat pilots who know this river intimately. It's a nail-biting journey carrying this precious cargo. If a boat were to capsize, the results would be devastating. The pilots keep pushing upriver where the field team waits. After 24 hours of non-stop transit, it's time for the last phase of a wild release. These orangutans' lives are about to change forever. Back in forest school, the Group 1 students are practicing for life in the canopy. It's a swinging safari with some exceptional skills on display. Little Malika is back on the ground, though. So the babysitters decide to try again to encourage her to climb. What will it take to get her to join her friends in the canopy? This tree is a bit fatter than the one she usually prefers. Maybe a fruit kebab will coax her up the trunk. It's working. And once she starts, there's no stopping her. As she nears the top, it's clear that this little orangutan knows what she's doing. She's 20 meters above the ground. Malika has never climbed this high before. This is a triumph for Malika. And her future now looks a lot more promising. In the nursery school, Jellipat and Telican are together again after yesterday's trial separation. But the inseparable pair now has a third wheel. Kalanis is still pursuing Telican. It seems yesterday's antics were more than just a passing interest. Is Kalanis driving a wedge between Jellipat and Telican? Soon there will be important changes for these 1 to 2-year-old biggies. They've all passed tutorials in foraging, climbing, and nest building in the nursery school jungle. Now they can graduate to forest school at the main compound. It's a huge achievement for these orphans and their tireless babysitters. They're one step closer to their future in the wild. At Bukit Baka Bukit Raya National Park in the wild heart of Borneo, the gang of 6 jungle school graduates is about to be set free. This special moment is the culmination of more than 10 years of intense education. Rebecca seems eager to experience this new world. While Bruni is a bit more cautious. They both stick close to the release site, a little unsure about where they are. Next, it's 2 males. Big Rawa exits without incident. He wastes no time in taking to the trees. Stuart heads straight for Rebecca. They've been friends right through forest school. Newly released orangutans sometimes flee straight into the forest. These 4 stick around to get their bearings. Just 2 more to go. Sukumara is free. And Rowo is getting impatient. When it's finally her turn, she gives everyone a bit of a scare. But quickly finds her feet. Vet Vivi will remain in the jungle for the next month to monitor these new wild orangutans and deal with any medical emergencies. Otherwise, they are now on their own. No more food drops. No more babysitters or technisi. It's up to each individual to find a range and put all their skills to use. For these 6 orangutans, their jungle school journey has come to an end. Loss, trauma, captivity, and then rescue and nurturing have now become freedom. For the students still making their way through jungle school, there's good reason for hope. As long as there are people who care. And as long as there are safe wilderness areas like Bukit Baka Bukit Raya, orphans like Beni, Malika, Valentino, Chinta, and all the others still have a chance to be free. Even Alba, the world's only albino orangutan, is scheduled for release onto her own wild island, along with her 3 trusty sidekicks, Radmala, Anu, and Kikan. It takes a lot of work, a lot of money, and a lot of love to save this critically endangered species. But if there's one lesson that Forest School has taught, it's that orangutans can be saved. And it's worth it.
Hey Love Nature fans, be sure to like and subscribe to catch all our wild animal stories. Get closer to nature right here on YouTube.